Hello and Happy New Year. So today I want to talk to you about 5 fertility resolution ideas that you can consider to help you on your journey in 2020. Not only do I want you to be in the best health that you can be, but to also be the happiest, the least stressed, and to give yourself the best chance of conceiving your baby this year. So before I get into my top 5 suggestions, I do just want to let you know that I don't suggest doing all of these at once. That's kind of like a surefire way to fail. If you make a big drastic change and it doesn't work out, you tend to then go, oh, well, none of those things worked, I'm just not going to do them. And these suggestions are only small changes, but that's how you create big change. You do one small thing at a time, and you'll be surprised how quickly they add up and how much of an effect and a change they can have on your physical health, but also on your mental, emotional, and your spiritual health as well. So let's get into these tips. So the first thing I suggest you resolving to do this year is to drink more water. So many of us know this is a good thing to do, but it can be really hard to do it every single day. Water is such an important part in every single function in our body. In relation to fertility, it's going to help flush out any toxins that you have in your body, flush out excess hormones so that you feel really good in your body, give you more energy so you're more likely to work out, which we know is important, give you more energy so you pick better foods, give you more energy so you have better sex. All of these things are going to help. So honestly, starting with something as simple as, for the first week of the year, I'm going to make sure I drink enough water every day. And then maybe after you've got that one down, you add on the next resolution that I'm going to suggest. So my second resolution idea is to actively manage your stress. And what I mean by that is sometimes we think of stress as, oh, I'm really stressed, I need to do something to fix it, and once I fix it, it will be done. But it's really not like that. We get stressed throughout different parts of our lives, different stages and phases, different events stress us out, different things that happen can stress us out. So I think we need to start looking at stress as kind of like you look at exercise to keep your body in shape. We need to do things to keep our stress levels down ongoing. It needs to be a practice and a habit. So how can you start actively managing your stress this year? Maybe it's scheduling in that yoga class. Maybe it's creating a habit around bedtime where you do a 5-minute meditation before you go to sleep. Perhaps for you, it's going for a walk once a week with a friend so that you can vent. That is a great way to manage stress. You really need to find what works best for you to manage stress, and then really try and put that into your schedule as a regular thing, not just for when you hit crisis mode and you need to de-stress. My third resolution I suggest you make is to get more sleep. And I've spoken about it here on my channel before. In fact, I've created a whole series around getting better sleep for your fertility. I think we underestimate how much energy goes into making a baby, especially when you're struggling with it, when it hasn't happened like that. The emotional energy, the mental stress and energy that goes into it can really take a toll on the body, and you can feel very close to burnout very quickly if you don't make sure you're getting enough sleep and enough rest. So if you were really feeling a little bit over the whole process at the end of 2019, I really think this would be a good resolution for you to make in 2020. Get more sleep, get more rest. Whether that means you're able to take a little siesta in the day or 10-minute break once you get home from work, whether it means you go to bed earlier, maybe you can work so that you sleep in an extra half an hour. It doesn't matter how you do it. I really want you to focus on getting more sleep. If this is something you struggle with and really unwinding for sleep, go and check out my Good Night series for fertility. That one's going to give you different classes that you can do just before bedtime for each of the stages of your cycle to get yourself into a really good physical state, but also mental and emotional state as well to have a good night's sleep. My fourth suggestion is to empower yourself on this journey. And what I mean by that is, and I really speak from personal experience here, is after my 3 losses, or throughout the process of them actually, I really handed over my power. I felt like my body was broken and I didn't know what to do with it. And I felt like there were all these other experts around me, my doctor, my naturopath, my acupuncturist, all of these people who had more knowledge about fertility than me. But what I missed, the missing piece, was really that I had the best knowledge of my own body. And I was connected to the intuition of my own body, which I think we maybe underestimate a little bit. So whilst I think it's important to seek help outside yourself, I would really like you to see them as suggestions and opinions, not truth. The truth can only exist in your own body. And the way to tap into that, whether you've got maybe a big decision to make around your fertility. So I've had women who have been advised to put their body into an early menopause to kind of reset for the IVF process. And I took these women through a process of just sitting with that, seeing how it feels in their body, seeing whether that feels like the right decision. And I've worked with a couple of women who've had this suggestion, and some of them sat with it and were like, yeah, it feels like the right decision. I think this is the next step for us. And I've worked with other women who have been like, no, this is not it. I just feel like it's not it. And they can't explain to me why, and they don't need to, because the beauty of the body is you have the answers that you need. And whilst yes, it's great to get advice and it's great to seek help on this journey, I want you to empower yourself with knowledge. So research any suggestions you're given and then connect yourself with your intuition and allow yourself to just sit with every idea that you're presented with and to make the decision that feels right for you. And you don't need to be able to explain why. You can just say yes or no. The final resolution that I suggest you making this year is prioritizing your happiness. When we're trying to conceive and it's not going well, and sometimes this is a process that takes 2, 3, 4, sometimes even longer years, we get so bogged down in charting, testing, eating all the right foods, doing the right movement, trying not to stress too much, looking for information, all of these things, and we forget that once upon a time we just lived and did the things that made us really happy. And I think when you forget about doing those things, because we often also forget about connecting with our partner just because we love them and this is the person we've chosen to be with, having sex just for fun, all of these things, it starts to make life feel like, why am I even bothering? And I think it's really common to feel quite depressed when you're going through this. And that's why I think it's so important to prioritize happiness, because if you're focusing on being happy, your stress levels are automatically going to go down. So my suggestion for this and what I did is I wrote a happy list. It sounds trivial, but it can be really powerful. So put things on it that don't take too long. They shouldn't be too expensive. So one of the things I had was like get new linens for my bed, or go for a walk along the beach with my partner, or have a date night, or anything that makes you feel really good. Things that you've been putting off doing because you've sort of been thinking, oh, maybe I'll be pregnant then, and oh, I've got to do this instead. Anything that makes you feel happy, put it on the list, and then resolve to do one of those things at least once a week. Better if you can do one a day. But for some of us, we've got other stuff going on, and once a week is all we can manage. If you just put one of those things in, you're going to start feeling lighter, less like your entire life revolves around having a baby. Which of course, when this is something you want so badly, that's all you can focus on, but you also need to live. It's going to help your relationship, it's going to help your mental health, your emotional health as well, and I honestly believe that helps you physically as well, and it's going to help you conceive this baby in a really good place, not going into motherhood feeling really stressed and depressed. So they are my resolution ideas for this new year. I really want to take this opportunity as well just to wish you all my love and hope for the coming year. I really want you to start it off on the right foot. Look after yourself as best you can and approach this year from a place of trusting that your baby is coming and that you can take the time to really look after yourself well so that you go into motherhood from a really good and happy place rather than from a place of feeling really depleted and like it was a big struggle. If you are brand new here, I am actually a yoga teacher and I share yoga practices for fertility. I'll leave a couple of links below for classes that you might want to go and check out. I also have a free fertility yoga guide, so you can download that one below as well. Thanks again. Happy New Year.